This is Let's Talk Valdosta, the City of Valdosta podcast, and I'm your host, Shara Denton. And I'm going to try to get through this interview with Rick Mefford out of Inspections. Good afternoon, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing good. You?
Wonderful. What is your role with the City of Valdosta?
I'm the building official over the building department. So I manage the building department, permits and inspections.
Oh, okay. That's all you do?
Yeah, that's all I do. Other than goof around every now and then.
Okay, well, we'll just jump right in there. What does it mean for a contractor to be licensed?
For a contractor to be licensed, you go to the Secretary of State, and there's different licenses on there. There's residential license, light commercial, and then a general contractor's license. They all have to test through the state. They have to have so much experience, depending on what they get their license in the building with a different contractor and get those years of experience. Plus, you have to have a certain amount of cash and then insurance in order for them to have a license.
Well, insurance seems to be a key one.
Yes. Insurance is definitely important.
What are some misconceptions about licenses from your experience?
Where we get a lot of issues is there's a business license you can get through the state, say Joe's Construction. All that is a business license. That doesn't, you can go to the state, get a business license. Just because it says construction on it, they show these individuals that, hey, I'm Joe's Construction. And because it says construction, they think they're licensed to do certain work, but they're not. There's a license that's general contractor, light commercial, electrical, plumbing, mechanical license that you got to require, that the state requires for you to do the work that you're able to do. But a lot of people mistake business license as a contractor's license.
Well, what would be the typical requirements for a contractor to obtain a license?
What was that again?
What are the typical requirements to obtain a license?
They have to go to the state, take the exam, have so much training under another contractor for so many years, and then carry insurance. And then that goes to the construction board, and the construction board will decide whether or not they can get their license or not.
So it's a whole process to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it crucial for homeowners in particular to hire licensed contractors for their projects?
I won't say what's off the top of my head, but it's important because one, you're getting they have insurance. That's the number one thing. And if they got a license, they pretty much know what they're doing. I'm not going to say 100% that everybody knows what they're doing just because they got a license. There are issues with that sometimes. But they have insurance. They carry that insurance. They know the code. They should know the code and what they got to do, whether it be mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or building. So they understand the code. And if they end up in the court system, I have the ability to go to the state and go after their license and push that issue. But it also protects the homeowner because of insurance purposes. A lot of insurance companies require someone that's going to do something on your home to have a license. And it protects them and their home is what it does.
So would you say that's part of the benefit of having a license in place?
Yes, it's a big benefit. Yeah.
How does hiring a licensed contractor ensure the safety and quality of the work that's being performed?
A licensed contractor is required to get permits for certain things that they do. So when they get those permits, they'll get inspected from my department. Both, like I said before, building, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing will all be inspected by my qualified inspectors to make sure that they're following the code.
And how does your department ensure that those contractors are doing that?
They call for inspections, and we go out and do inspections on them. Yeah.
So have you ever had someone that was not happy with the recourse of that? Maybe they didn't follow all the guidelines. Maybe they're not meeting all the standards to obtain that license. How do you deal with that type of situation?
Yeah, we have that quite often. It happens about every day. And what we do is make sure if they have a license, if the homeowner calls us, first, if they have a license and if they have obtained a permit or not. If they haven't obtained a permit, there's not much I can do other than I will go after them and put them in the court system because we have a lot of folks that are unlicensed that will do this work. So if they're unlicensed, it's I can't go after their state license because I have no license.
Right.
So we basically try to put them in the court, and then it's up to the homeowner to do civil court. And that's that process, which if they haven't had a permit, then we will not back them up. We won't go to court with them.
Well, how can homeowners verify if a contractor is licensed and doing the proper things to do work on
If a homeowner wants to verify that, they can go to the Georgia Secretary of State website, or they can call my office at 259-3506, and we will verify it for them. And I 100% sure say, make sure if you're in doubt that they have a license, call and look. A lot of the obvious is if they ask you to go get the permit, that tells you that there's something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
As a homeowner, okay? So that's a big key.
That leads me to my next question. What are some red flags that homeowners should be aware of when that happens?
If they add one, like I just said, if they ask you to buy the permit, or they ask for money up front right away, there's a few issues. A lot of people spend that money or give them that money, and then they're out of luck. They're out of the money. So,
well, what are there any resources or websites you could recommend for homeowners to find licensed contractors? I know you said it's State of Georgia, Secretary of State.
Yeah, if you were looking for licensed contractors, you can go to the Home Builders Association. They have a whole list of contractors on there, licensed contractors.
Okay.
Or you can call our office, and we will give you We'll give you a list of probably 5 or 6 that you can choose from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this earlier a little bit, but I want to kind of go back to what risks are the homeowners face when they hire an unlicensed contractor? What risk are they taking with that?
They take all responsibility that's happened to their home. There's nothing I can do. If they get their roof done and it leaks, it's on their responsibility. So if they don't look for licensed contractors to get permits, I really can't help them out.
So they're putting themselves in a worse situation, pretty much.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure are.
Well, thank you, Rick. Is there anything else you would like to add for information for citizens with regards to this?
Yeah, make sure that you do have licensed individuals, and there are such things as specialty licenses that are out there that we do locally. They can do certain amount of work and certain type of work. They don't have to have just a state license, but be very aware of those unlicensed folks. If they show you something that says Joe's Construction, make sure it's a licensed individual through the state to do the work, not just a business license.
Okay, thank you, Rick. And how can listeners get in touch? I know you mentioned it earlier in the interview, but how can they reach you if they have any other questions?
Our website, they can reach us on there, or they can call 259-3506, and they can reach me or my permit techs on there, or any of my inspectors.
Thank you, Rick. You did wonderful. It was great to talk. We joke a lot at work, but it's nice to talk to you about business. So thank you for your expertise and your experience and your leadership. And like you said, reach out to them if you have any questions. And that is all for Let's Talk Valdosta, the City of Valdosta podcast.